The most recent box office projections have Captain Marvel having an opening weekend in the United States of around $100 million, give or take, a few 10 or 20 million, right? So the movie's probably going to open somewhere between 80 and 120 million in the United States. But right now, they're saying officially squarely at 100 for the most part, which is a stark contrast to those earlier projections where people were saying that it was like 160 or 180 million in the United States. So that's a huge variance between those earlier projections and what we have now. So the question remains, well, and that's not uncommon. I mean, projections do change a lot with movies. It's not just Captain Marvel, that happens in general. But in Captain Marvel's case, how much money is this movie actually going to make by the time it leaves theaters? Is it going to be a monster hit, a moderate hit, or not that much of a hit at all? Opinions seem to be all over the place. Is there a lot of people who are definitely supporting this movie and a lot of people who are kind of hating it? I'm going to look at four scenarios. The first scenario is, I do think that Captain Marvel is going to be profitable no matter what, but in these four scenarios, there's like three where it's going to be profitable and one where it won't. So the first is, will it be, moderately or kind of sort of successful, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, make about like 600 million, 650, $100 million. Will it be pretty successful, like Spider-Man Homecoming, where it got into the 800 millions? Will it be phenomenally successful, like Black Panther, where it makes over $1 billion or reaches $1 billion? Or will it be a complete flop? Like, I don't know, there's a lot of movies that are flops these days. Like Solo, I guess. Solo was a flop. So those are the four, I think, possibilities for Captain Marvel, and I'm going to look at the situations surrounding each. Now, the first, moderately successful, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, in that case, there are a lot of people who hate this movie. Like, if you, type Captain Marvel, in the YouTube search, there are people who will come up with these pretty large YouTube channels talking about, I hate this movie, or, Brie Larson's getting on my nerves. You see a lot of that. You already see some articles, too, talking about, Captain Marvel, the projections, there's an 80% decrease. So I think it's possible that, because this movie has a lot of haters, that could be reflected in the box office. And there are people who, don't like Brie Larson's, comments about, she doesn't want, white men on the press tour, or earlier she doesn't care about the opinions of white men who are reviewing movies. And, there are a lot of people, a lot of white folks who are unhappy hearing stuff like that. And so that could be reflected in the box office receipts. We'll see, though. That could lead to scenario number 2, where it's still pretty successful. That couldn't matter. That might not matter. I mean, Captain Marvel is a Marvel movie. It stars another female superhero, and a lot of people really want to see female superheroes on screen. There's a lot of people who love Marvel to death. The critics are probably going to give this movie great reviews because they like Marvel movies. Critics are in love with Marvel, and critics are pretty progressive, most of them, entertainment critics, and they're gonna love to support a movie with a female lead, a female superhero movie like this one. The same way they love supporting Wonder Woman. They're going to I think watch this movie. They're going to want to watch this movie when they come in to watch it. And that's going to make them psychologically really root for it and love it. And so I think it's going to get strong reviews, and there are a lot of Marvel fans and Captain Marvel fans and people who support women on screen who are going to see this movie. And it could be a good movie. Marvel has a good track record with making crowd-pleasing movies. So I think it is possible that it could make, the 800 millions like Spider-Man Homecoming did. Now, the third scenario, about it being phenomenally successful is possible, but I don't really, Black Panther successful. I don't think that's going to happen. You never know. I'll definitely talk about it if I'm proven wrong. But in this scenario, I think that in order for Captain Marvel to reach the billions, because it's a female-focused movie, it's going to have to really get a lot of female moviegoers to rally behind it, the way they did for Wonder Woman, and the way that the Black community, mostly the African-American community, rallied behind Black Panther. So, and which is possible. I mean, a lot of women in the United States these days, they're hungry for more empowerment. They're hungry for more females, in movies and TV shows. So it's possible that maybe Captain Marvel will light a fire under them the way Wonder Woman did, and they will show up, thunderously to support this movie. But I think the only way that this movie could reach $1 billion is if, women really, really support it the way they did Wonder Woman. So we'll see. That is a possibility. I don't really think that it's going to be as successful as Black Panther. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. But we shall see. And scenario number 4, which I don't think is going to happen either, is the movie completely flops. Like Solo, where it only makes like 300 to 400 million or $500 million. That's not going to happen. I think this movie will, no matter how much money it makes, I think it will be profitable for Marvel. And, you know, the question remains, though, how profitable? Will it just be okay profit or, you know, super high profits? But, you know, or maybe it'll flop. Like I said before, there are people who really, really hate this movie. And there are a lot of people who are upset with Brie Larson, a lot of her comments that she's made, and the way she comes off in interviews. I don't know if that's going to factor into anything. We don't know. This movie is an unknown quantity until it's actually released. But, you know, what do you think? Which one of these 4 scenarios will Captain Marvel enjoy when it releases when it comes to theaters next month and continues playing right up until Endgame? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.